he did.
As Venkman would say. Did you ever see the reboot?
Oh no, I refused.
No.
I refused to watch it.
Hard pass. Did you see it?
I've watched it. It was okay. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah,
That sounds promising. It was okay. So maybe we
It's
should.
perfect. You know, he got rid of an hour and a half of my life.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the time.
It was a bucket of steaming turds.
You never did you watch it?
Yes.
No,
No, I didn't watch it. I suffered through it because someone else in my house.
You read the
Oh, I don't know.
reviews.
I don't know if you probably just went into it with a closed mind as usual.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, it's it's
man.
this sort of remaking classics. I don't know. I think they're on a hide into nothing when they do this.
There's another sequel coming out, isn't there?
Fuck off.
Another
What?
for Ghostbusters, another one.
Yeah.
They didn't learn
With
their
kids
lesson
this
from the
time.
first one.
Well, that was kind of like a reboot, wasn't it? That one with the ladies. So this one was this one. I'm pretty sure Venkman is in it.
Spengler's family, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like his kids and stuff.
It's something like that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right. Yeah.
And
I
I think he's a ghost, isn't he? In it, like that's the rumor. Peter Venkman's a ghost in it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
they really can't come up with other new things anymore, can they?
No.
well, it's easy money, isn't it? It's it's a risk taking a few $100 million and putting it behind a project that doesn't have a track record, something new, some original thought or idea, which might have some use to society. Just go for the easy money. This is why we get so many Marvel films, and we've seen the same thing with Star Wars, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Hollywood these days is, and it's always been just huge money laundering
Oh, yeah.
operation.
Oh yeah.
But it's so much more obvious these days with all these remakes and
Yeah.
just who's watching this shit?
I went to film school and
These two guys are watching it constantly.
Shame on you.
when I went to film school, I learned how to make a movie, and their purpose is to literally spend all the money. That's literally it. When you start a production, you create an LLC or a corporation, and you basically have a budget, and your purpose is to spend all that cash. So it's like, oh, whose pocket is it going to? Obviously, it's going to most of the producers. The producers are taking the bigger cut, and they're buying truckloads of equipment or renting truckloads of equipment, and then they take a little piece because they know who the equipment renter is, and they get a kickback, and then they get a kickback back, and it's stupid. It's ridiculous. That's why people that make independent movies, some of their stuff is actually good because they put their heart and soul into it. And in Hollywood, they just put their dick in it, and that's it.
That's kind of how local government works in this country.
Well, I was just about to say, if you never worked for the state.
It's like your local council gets a budget every year.
Yeah.
And if you don't spend the budget,
It goes,
you won't get it the following year.
Yeah.
So when it comes round to sort of February, March in the year, they're out on the roads just digging up holes in roads because they've got to spend the money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't get it the next year.
Exactly, yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. Anyway, should we introduce ourselves or something?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Well, then.
Well, you go first, don't you? That's the way.
I'll go first. I'm Amish Ben.
I'm Amish Phil
And I'm Amish Matt.
from the Amish Inquisition podcast, and we're here with Buffalo Rambler and Leggs from False Reality Check.
Hey.
Howdy.
It's been
Thanks.
it seems to have been a long
Thanks for
time
having us.
in the brewing, this, hasn't it? When did we first? It's a couple of months ago, I think, when we first.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's been a couple months for sure. So
Yeah, you
we've
guys are
been
across the pond.
anticipating this, building up.
Supply chain delays, no doubt.
Mm.
Brexit.
Yeah, we had to take the QE2 over there, so
Have you had any other guests on from across the pond?
Oh yeah, one of our friends, Ronnie, he's from Finland, so he's actually 10 hours ahead. So he's even a few hours ahead of you guys, and he's up closer to the Arctic Circle. So we've had him on a couple of times, and it's always been a good blast to have him on because he has a different perspective. He's awake, but he's in Finland, so he's dealing with all the Nazi stuff that's going on over there now. I think he just lost his job.
He
'cause
did.
He didn't want to wear a mask anymore.
He just lost his job. And I think he mentioned this week they're going to start implementing the COVID pass over there.
Yeah.
So he went out Friday night and partied it up the last moments.
He's getting some salary though. He's able to take like a few months of his salary, so he's got some time to look for another position, and we're rooting for him. He's been doing pretty good so far and telling us every day what's going on over there. But it's getting a little crazy on your end of the pond, it seems.
Well, I don't know. I think we've sort of we're in a bit of a lull here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
people
goes-
have stopped caring.
Yeah. I think, like sort of like mask wearing and things like that's definitely sort of stopping and stuff in most local places.
Only because the
Um,
government told
public
people
places.
they didn't have to.
Well,
You know.
there is that, isn't there? But at least it hasn't continued to the extent I thought it would kind of stick around a lot longer than it did, really.
Yeah, they threatened vaccine passports in the summer. Bojo the Clown, our esteemed leader, Boris Johnson, he made an announcement saying we're going to introduce vaccine passports for nightclubs, large outdoor events above so many thousand, and large indoor events with over 500 guests, nightclubs, anywhere where you dance and enjoy yourself.
Well,
basically.
anybody who frequents those kinds of places under the age of 30 basically was targeted.
Yeah. So
Um,
it was just a prod. It was a prod. It was a threat and a prod to get young people who, in the main, are at practically zero risk from what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
To sort of coerce them into getting the magic juice. But they backed down on it. And it was partly because he only has quite a slim majority in the House of Commons. And there are a few of his party on the backbenches who are not happy with, well, a lot of what's going on, but particularly the vaccine passports.
Yeah.
And basically, he would be relying on the opposition party to support him to get this through. That's how I read it, anyway. I mean, I would say they could probably use some sort of public health diktat, which has been the parliamentary mechanism from the start, and it's what's been used in Australia to get round pesky things like democracy and voting for things,
Yeah.
Sort of.
Just those things. We
yeah,
don't need
yeah.
What's the
Can't be having them in an emergency. We can't be slowing things down. And
what's the Public Health England been? What's its name change gone to?
the UK Health Security Agency.
Yeah. So it used to be Public Health England,
What?
and it's now the UK Health Security Agency.
Everything's
all
about
about?
security. Everything's about security.
Health security. That's a little.
It's easy
Creepy.
to sell the safety part that they never deliver. So it's easy to sell that part if they say, "Oh, it's security. We're not going to give you that." But it's in the name. It's like how in North Korea they're called the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. It's just neither democratic and it's not a republic. So I'm not sure how the hell they got that name. They must have trademarked it really early on.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Must have a good marketing department, Kim.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-il. Is it Kim Jong-il?
Kim Jong Il,
I don't know.
isn't it? Kim Il Jong.
That's the supreme leader to us noobs. It's the
Supreme leader. Oh my
Oh.
gosh. I saw some crazy video come out of North Korea the other day. They were doing a military exercise or like presentation, and their guys were just right in front of, what is his name? The supreme leader or whatever.
Kim Jong-un, I think.
Yeah, Kim Jong,
Il-un? I don't know.
one of them. And they were, breaking bricks, breaking
Oh, that
pieces
thing.
of
yeah.
wood, just like stacks of wood, and it was crazy. And meanwhile, we're over here just bread and circuses. Football's back. You
Yeah.
know?
American football.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, soccer's back. So,
That was an element over here, wasn't it? Was it in the summer when the football came back?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a sweetener, wasn't it?
Oh, it was tragic because they were playing the matches sort of behind closed doors with no fans in the stadium.
It was awful.
So there was no crowd noise, and it just
Yeah.
shows you how shit it is.
Yeah.
If you know,
It did.
when there's no atmosphere. But you could press a red button on the TV to have fake crowd noise piped in. It's like,
Yeah.
for
Or
fuck's sake.
I think normally the default was to have fake noise. And like, if they scored a goal, they would be cheering. You go, and the best thing was, well, I suppose that would happen anyway. But if they thought that the director thought the goal was going in, the crowd would erupt. But obviously it didn't.
That's so weird.
Yeah, they started doing that here. We were big time hockey fans. We love to watch hockey games, go to hockey games because it's like lacrosse, skating and boxing all in one sport. You get UFC and, you know, an actual sport. And we saw that they were pumping noises in to the
It was during
empty arenas
last year's playoffs,
just to like amp up the players psychologically so that they could score more goals to an audience of nothing. And we were already in the habit of watching it live at home, and we would mute it just because we hated the commentary because it started to get like really social, like justice and aware and all that stuff. And it's like, who are these guys like talking about all this? Isn't hockey. Like, we don't need politics in it. So we just started muting them. That's why we started going to games, because you don't hear the announcers there. They don't talk. It's just hearing other people cheering and laughing. And the fact that they have to pump that crowd noise in tells me this whole thing's just a charade. Like, it's just a con. It's a game they're playing. And even the players it's almost like they're participants in the game, but they need that like social reinforcement in order to participate themselves, because otherwise, you know, what is it? It's just dudes skating around on ice, hitting each other for no reason. Although that's fun.
Yeah,
Are you guys still
I was
into?
gonna say I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Are you guys still into sports? Like, or has your interest faded?
I am.
Oh,
I still
yeah.
watch football. Phil has fully awokened himself, haven't you? And no longer engages with any kind of sport.
No, not for
like
about
cricket?
best part of 10 years probably now. Yeah, the sport was the
Wow.
first thing to go, and TV's pretty much gone now. I don't think I think the last thing I watched properly was maybe Better Call Saul, and I gave up before the last season of that came up. So maybe,
Congrats. That's awesome.
yeah. Well, you
Don't
just,
encourage him, Jesus.
you just realize how much time you're spending on this stuff, and you're just wasting time. Really, you just
Yeah.
sort
Yeah,
of adding
exactly.
something to do to take your mind off things before you have to wake up and do it all over again.
Exactly. It's a drug.
Yeah, and it's escapism. Yeah, and it is like I forgot the name of it from Brave New World.
Soma.
Soma. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But it works. You know, I'm happy.
I think that's the point, right? It's supposed to work. It's supposed to distract you.
If you're happy, that's fine. But I wasn't.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I realized that it wasn't doing anything for me.
It's not fulfilling, is it, to do that over and over again? I think you've got to have to find your fulfillment in something.
Well, to me, it's quite the sort of the entertainment industry, particularly TV, particularly because there's so much, and there are these box sets that come out that people watch that are 20 hours long, and it's very passive. You know, you're not really engaging in what's going on. You just sort of sat back and soaking it in, which is fine if that's how you want to spend all your evenings. But I just got to the point where, nah, enough. And it wasn't like a guillotine coming down. It was like a gradual process. So I started watching less stuff that I already knew was shit, and then I started being more selective. And I thought, well, I'd watch a few episodes of something new, and I would make my mind up. Well, this is like, where is this on the quality bar? You know, is this Game of Thrones season 3?
Yeah.
Or is this, I don't know. I can't think of something shit.
Something that your wife watches.
Yeah, anything that my missus watches. Bosh.
Anything American Idol, anything like
X Factor or
Big
some
Brother,
stupid
some stupid reality shit.
shit. Survivor 25 or whatever fucking season they're on now.
Oh man.
I mean, that's just
Reality
taking it to a new level, isn't it? Reality TV. I mean, that is absolute
That-
garbage.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Survivor at all.
I have heard of it, but I've never watched it.
When that came out, oh my god, I was obsessed. I was pretty young, but that was like my reality TV right there. And then sometime after that, Big Brother came out, and so I was like kind of allowed to watch that. Not really, because there was, the sexual situations. Couldn't in my Christian household. That was like, oh god,
Oh.
I can't watch that. But
You can watch shit TV, but don't curse
Yeah.
Jesus. That's don't you dare.
Yeah, exactly.
So Survivor was before Big Brother. So
Was
what?
it?
Yeah,
I don't
could.
know.
I think so.
What was
Don't quote me on that, but
But I think
it was.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I think it was around the same time, maybe, but I can't remember which came first. I thought Survivor came first, but
What was the premise of that? Was that the one where they dropped you off on naked on a desert island and you had to survive?
no, there was like two teams and they got dropped off separate parts of an island or whatever location they were at, and they had to do various challenges to get like food items or survival items, and then whatever team lost at the end, they had to vote someone out. And then like the grand prize was like $1 million, like something totally minuscule.
Like Road Rules meets Castaway,
Yeah, exactly.
except no Tom Hanks molesting children or anything.
Yeah, it was
It
okay.
was good as Cheggers Naked in the Jungle, though.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that? Oh, we had this. It's probably lost on the American audiences, but essentially we had this aging TV presenter. who
Disc
was
jockey.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a disc jockey, wasn't he? Yeah, sort of a household name if you went in certain households, I guess. And he inexplicably decided to do a reality TV show with a few Z-list celebrities who were completely starkers in a jungle for a few weeks. So, I don't know, original programming potentially?
No, it's
different.
just it's going down to the lowest common denominator, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Look,
Yeah.
how can we
Shock
make
factor.
something? Yeah, shock factor. How can we make this popular? I know. Let's make them all fucking naked.
Well, that's the thing I was just going to say. So I remember Survivor came out, but there was I'm sure there's something that I've seen that's called Naked Survival or something like that, and they drop off
Is it
two
Naked
people.
and Afraid?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
it.
it?
Naked and Afraid. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they, well, I think from my memory, it's something like you drop off a woman and a man in like the middle of nowhere, and they've got to kind of get somewhere by a certain time or something.
Fight to the death.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
What's this new? Well, it's not new now, but that dating show where they're naked and they reveal like a section of their body.
It's the genitals first, isn't it? on
What's
that
it
one?
called?
Naked Attraction. That one.
Do
Naked
you-
Attraction.
Do you have
What?
that? Do you have that over there? Naked attraction.
I don't think so.
This is
Did you
like
call
a-
it genitals? Is that what you-
You will not fucking believe it.
Please elaborate. Please elaborate.
It's just bizarre. So
How's it start?
well, they get a person comes on who is like there to get a date with someone, and then there's like I can't remember how many people, but maybe like 6 people.
6. There are 6 people.
And they're all in cubicles, naked, but it has like an opaque sliding door that kind of slides upwards. So they go, are you ready to see the first bits of these people? And it slides up, and it comes up to like the navel, so you can see either like the cock and balls or the fudge. And
See, they're
then
monkeys.
based on that, you say, "Oh, I like that fudge," or "I like that penis." I'm going to pick these ones and get rid of this one. And then the naked person comes out who's rejected, has a naked hug and says bye.
An awkward naked hug.
Yeah, an awkward naked hug. And then it goes and goes and goes until the last 2, and then they see the 2, and it goes up to the face or whatever. And then the person who's come on then gets naked. And the chooser, and he or she gets naked, and then he picks one of the 2 that are left, and then that's it.
And then
She
they
picks.
go on a date.
And they go on a date, yeah, with clothes on.
I mean,
That makes 0 sense. So it's meeting the key first, basically.
Oh my gosh.
It's just to get people to watch it because it's on at like 11:30 at night, isn't it?
it's complete voyeurism.
Yeah,
Is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You're tuning in to watch people be humiliated, and hopefully someone will have a weird cock, or a weird twat.
yeah.
It's just
Someone has a Jeffrey Epstein shaped penis, and it's like, oh, I know that guy.
What was the thing with him? What did they say about his cock, Epstein?
It's an egg shaped, uncircumcised penis.
Egg
Same as Harvey Weinstein allegedly also has an egg shaped, uncircumcised penis. That's why there's like a theory out there that they didn't rape anybody because they were ill-equipped essentially to do so. I don't know how true that is. I've never really looked into it, but I've always thought that the egg-shaped penis thing is probably true because just look at them, like they look like they got an egg-shaped dick. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Is like egg-shaped not normal then?
Oh man.
Oh.
Well, mine's actually a giraffe. So.
Oh my God.
I'm too far away. I'm too far away from all my buttons.
Like an ostrich egg.
What?
Is that not? No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We have a soundboard.
Yeah, I'm a bit far away tonight. Christ. So,
Get on that thing. Get up in the
You
thing.
got some Alex Jones on there? What do you got
Of
on
course
that?
we do, yeah.
Oh yeah.
are you going to find it?
I'll try.
I don't know what it'll be under.
Be under gay frogs, surely.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you?
Hey, he was right about that, apparently.
He's making this
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
frogs?
they changed gender. So
Oh.
the chemicals in the water forced a unexpected sex change in frogs that do ordinarily have that capability, and they change sex in accordance with various temperatures and things like that. So he was kind of right, but only if he'd have said the correct things, like the water's turning the boy frogs into girl frogs. That's probably too much.
It doesn't
but,
fit as well in a
half
quote.
there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some Jurassic Park shit.
I was just
So
going
the
to say
broken clock
that.
is right twice a day.
Don't worry, they're all female.
Absolutely.
How do you know? Did someone go around, look up all the dinosaur skirts?
I know, yeah.
Putting
One
their
of them
hand
broke
on
into the
neck
hot
to
tub,
the
didn't they?
jack.
How do you ever use this, Phil? It just makes no sense.
I don't
You've still
really.
not found it.
I don't
No.
really use that one. It's more for Joe Biden, really.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
So on and so forth.
That was the most coherent I've ever heard of.
Yeah, he is a legend. I can't thank you enough for electing him and making him the most popular president in history.
The most, popular president ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
It really, we find it so entertaining because it's unfair for just us to have a clown. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really. He's more of a reanimated corpse, isn't he, than a clown? But
Yeah, Bojo.
He might be a clone. We're not really sure. Have you seen the ear thing?
With
Have you seen
Biden?
the ear thing with Biden?
yeah,
I have no idea.
No?
I don't think he's a clone. I think it's like people wearing those Mission Impossible masks.
There's some,
as
like-
body doubles.
Yeah,
or
there's some
something.
crazy like prosthetics and just full on bodysuits out there that look completely human.
Yeah.
Like if you go on Twitter and
hands
just
and arms too.
look
right?
around
Yeah,
like
some
randomly
really
on
good
the
ones.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there for sure.
When you got the
You
shot,
don't think it's Trump, do you, in a Biden suit?
that would be hilarious. I don't think he could fit in a Biden suit. Dude eats too many cheeseburgers. That dude's not fitting in any. I'm amazed he could fit in his actual suit. To be honest
Well,
with you.
He's another one who's got to squeeze his eggs in.
Oh, I just realised it's in alphabetical order, this, isn't it?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
God.
you've been staring at the thing for 10 minutes.
I can't see anything that says frogs or gay, so...
No, it's just I've probably not updated that for a while. Oh, you want to? Oh, I know. You can have this one.
I look like a war-hardened goblin.
There we go. That'll do, won't it?
Nice.
You guys need the one where he says, "I'm actually retarded." I'm actually retarded.
That was when he was on Rogan's podcast,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
my favorite quote of his, where he's like, "I'm actually retarded," and it's like, "Oh, good, you admitted it."
God, that episode was pure entertainment. It was so good.
I think he's great. I think he's incredibly
Yeah.
charismatic, and I mean, I don't know where
You
to
think
go
he's
with it.
you think he's a spook? CIA spook?
He's like the American David Icke. Only David Icke's probably written way more books than he has.
You have to admire his commitment. I mean, he's been slogging at this for like 30 years probably.
Long time, yeah.
A long time. I saw him on his original Bohemian Grove tape. That was the first time I heard about him. And then we saw a movie in the theater, A Scanner Darkly. I think Richard
Oh, yeah,
Linklater
that's
made that
right.
movie.
Yeah.
We went to go see it at the premiere. Like Keanu Reeves was there. and we watched it there. And Alex Jones plays a tiny part where he's a crazy guy yelling in the streets about like gay frogs and stuff like that.
Interdimensional child molesters.
Internet, exactly. And then he lights himself on fire. That's literally. I don't have no idea what the point of that scene was, but it was great. He did a great job.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video a long time ago. He sort of infiltrated. Wasn't that with Rogan as well?
The Bohemian Grove?
Yeah.
No, I think that was like way before he met Joe Rogan. That was in the beginning. That was what got him like his start, was filming that cremation care ceremony.
Yeah, he had hair.
Yeah, he actually had hair, like real hair, not the plugs that he has now.
Is Bohemian Grove the one with Moloch, the owl god?
Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Up in Northern California. It's just like, I guess they do like gay stuff too there. I'm not sure. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about them, but I just assume I've heard the quote that Richard Nixon, he went once and he said that this is the biggest bunch of queers that he's ever been around. That's literally like his quote. I think he said queers, or maybe he said the other word. I'm not really sure. But you guys call it cigarettes, so we don't call them that here.
No, it's funny how language evolves and changes, doesn't it? You know, what was acceptable when we were in the schoolyard, like retard.
Yeah.
You know, that's you're not allowed to say that now.
No.
And a lot of these, especially with mental issues, a lot of them were sort of started off as medical terms.
Yeah.
Like idiot it was a medical term.
Yeah.
And
spastic.
Spastic.
Why are you laughing?
Spastic. Really?
Because I just had a flashback to like when I was 10.
Yeah, spaz.
Spaz, yeah.
Scope.
Were you diagnosed spastic?
Phil was.
I like ADD.
Yeah. But so they have to bring in new terms. Like a term gets adopted by the schoolyard and is used as a weapon, a club to beat people with, as a derogatory term. So then the sort of the industry, the mental health industry or the medical industry, comes up with new words to replace the old ones. And it's just a matter of time, isn't it, before they start being used again?
Yeah, it is.
In the schoolyard, when was cunt used for you guys? I feel like you guys throw that around a lot.
Yeah, God bless you guys. That's a beautiful
it's
term.
such a good word.
I don't think we. I don't think. I
No,
thought
it was too early, I think.
unless we're wrong. I don't know. Unless all the movies are wrong.
Yeah. Unless our movies lie to us, which I can't imagine why they do that.
I think can't if you say it in a southern accent, can't rather than cunt, it sounds a little bit different. So
Softer, yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe if you're from down south, it might be more acceptable for you to call someone a can't than it is for someone up here to call you a cunt. It's different, isn't it?
It is. It's an aggressive, has aggressive connotations here. It was never something I heard at school.
No.
The first time I was called a cunt was my first day at work. On my first day when I was an apprentice at the age of 17 or whatever.
Really?
That's right.
I'm sure I called you a cunt before.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. You don't know when all these words kind of come into your lexicon or whatever.
Completely different now because we've got Game of Thrones. You know, everyone's calling him a cunt left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
right.
Every man and his cunting dog's a cunt.
Yeah, so I think it's a regional thing here in the UK, and I think in Scotland, I don't know how true this is, but I believe cunt is not that offensive. It might be like saying piss. In Scotland,
is it a term of affectionment?
Affectionment.
They call their wives that, right? They're like, "Oh, that cunt over there." I love that cunt.
Exactly. Yeah, basically. But I don't know. It's just what you hear, isn't it?
The thing is, with these words and language, it's all about intent. You know, people who are friends with each other can call themselves a silly cow, you bloody silly cunt.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the intention that matters.
I suppose. Yeah.
I agree.
I think that goes for everything.
Have we just gone up to the end of a blind alley of cunt?
Context.
Yeah.
No, I think it's intention. I think we've been talking to people who are saying that like the English language itself is casting spells. And so, because the English language has evolved, right? Old English was
Yeah.
more like Welsh, I think, and it's just changed over
You take
time.
that back.
I take it you hate on the Welsh there. They're
No,
like,
no, they're all right.
Yeah.
Great bunch of lads.
Well,
just have really long names.
I think it's kind of was outlawed, wasn't it? Basically, same with
What was?
like Welsh.
Was outlawed?
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
the language, right?
A language?
yeah, under like King Edward
Really?
in like the 1300s or whatever, when he built his iron ring or whatever it was called. You know?
Ooh.
Yeah, kinky. But yeah, so it was sort of, you know, it was probably punishable by death to sort of speak that language. Same with sort of like Celtic, I imagine, you know, when something to do with like the English, Scotland,
Gaelic
Wales,
languages.
you know, like hundreds of years ago kind of thing. But then even when that was what a lot of sort of when Ireland had its War of Independence, it was about sort of suppression of Irish culture and all the rest of it, and speaking Irish.
Yeah, cultural
So,
cleansing.
Yeah.
I just know
Is that all you
Sinead
got?
O'Connor.
Yeah, that's just another name for it, I guess, isn't it? But that's what empires do.
Yeah.
They suppress people. You don't want, if you've got the boot on the necks of people, you don't want them identifying with some sort of cultural thing that energizes them, that they can get behind. Yeah. You know, you
Sort
want
of like
them,
a culture club.
yeah, yeah. You want them docile and obedient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just high quality television would do for me.
Well, it does for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
Or drinking fluoride.
Oh,
We get this.
Is this what?
This is coming. Yeah, they've announced this over here, haven't they?
Yeah.
Putting fluoride in the water.
It's already in the water in some areas. I think
Yeah.
ours is one of them. It's been in for since the 60s.
I don't think
No.
it was in ours. I thought it was in like Yorkshire or somewhere like that. But I might.
I was
be
at
wrong.
Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Nah, they
Yeah.
can keep it.
Basically, I read we have this guy. There's this guy in the UK who no one had heard about 18 months ago called Chris Whitty. And he is the public health, what's he called? Chief medical officer. And he's the guy who's been doing press conferences every day when the pandemic started and that. And now he's a household name now. Everyone knows who Chris Whitty was. And he announced a couple of weeks ago that they're going to roll out fluoridation of the water. And I read his statement and he's like, basically he said, the statement said, some children don't brush their teeth twice a day. So we're going to fluoridate the water supply. Can we not just get kids to brush their teeth twice a day?
Yeah, no.
Isn't that easier?
Yeah.
You would think that would be easier, wouldn't you? But apparently not.
Yeah. They're already advertising the vaccines. Can't they just tack on like, oh, and don't forget to brush your teeth twice a day
Yeah.
at the same time? Get the shot,
Yeah.
brush your teeth twice a day.
Yeah,
Message.
brush your teeth twice
Since
a day
you
for a
do
month
that,
and we'll
though,
give you a
people are just
donut.
going to stop brushing their teeth. The government can't tell me to brush my teeth. The government can't tell me to wash
True.
my armpits. And you'll just end up with all hell will break loose.
Well, do you know actually, there's a link between a certain type of bacteria that grows on your teeth in tooth decay, and it's linked.
Don't say heart attacks.
No, it's linked to dementia. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know. It might be a bit of a cost-cutting exercise, basically, cutting on the amount of care they have to pay for all these kids now.
I would have thought they would have said that in their announcement if that was a motivation.
Well, they just don't read the research, do they?
No. They said it does. They were open, They said it does nothing for adults, and it's just for kids. And if they have too much fluoride, it can create this thing called fluorosis, I think, on the kids' teeth.
Right.
Have you ever looked at your toothpaste label?
No.
Not for under sevens.
Not for under sevens. A lot of them will say.
Oh right. Well, yeah. I get some I get different ones.
Yeah, and they say when you're. I think it says like for children under a certain age, you put a smear on, and then for a certain age, you put a pea-sized.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it's a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
It's a serious chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah. On ours, it says if you swallow a big chunk, call the poison control.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I remember once my mum and dad. This must have been in like the 90s or the 80s. But we went on holiday somewhere, and they went, "Oh fuck, we not brought the toothpaste," and they brought some strawberry flavored toothpaste, and I ate it all.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, so
that's why you've got such a crusty pineal gland. You soak up stupid TV all the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm
This is why I'm
happy.
watching reality TV.
Happy person. Yeah, doing that.
Do you know where fluoride comes from? Do you know how they get fluoride?
I didn't see from like killing babies or something.
That's adrenochrome. Come on, keep up. No, it comes through. It's a byproduct of manufacturing aluminum.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what to do with it, so they're like, "I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it to people, and they're gonna eat it." I mean, why not, right? And then we can make money off the byproduct too.
Yeah, it often is that those kinds of things are. That's how sort of like it works, isn't it? It's like something's an offshoot of something, and then they figure out, oh, we can actually sell this, or we can make a market for it. That's the more important thing, isn't it? Essentially,
we've seen that recently, haven't we, with CO2 and fertilizer industry over here. I think it's fertilizer. But
oh yeah, it's a byproduct of it, isn't
CO2 that goes to the bottling industries and your fizzy drinks and whatnot, and your packaged meats. Yeah, whatever, all requires CO2. So we had a recent issue over here where the gas prices went through the roof. So there was an energy crisis.
Gas being natural gas rather than gasoline. Just to clarify.
Yeah, sorry, natural gas. Yeah, and so the cost of power went through the roof for these big manufacturing places, and they essentially shut down because it wasn't cost effective for them to run, and as a result, all those byproduct industries were impacted. So we had, news reports telling us that there was going to be no cooked meats available. Loads of pigs were going to die immediately because no, that was something else. I think that's because we didn't have enough butchers because of Brexit. The bottled drinks industry was going to be affected because of the CO2 shortage. Just all doom mongering stuff, and something about turkeys and Christmas. I just kind of zoned out.
And did you see, Ben, what Boris Johnson's solution was to the gas prices that he announced the other day?
No.
Adding a levy to gas prices.
Oh, of course.
Making them more expensive.
Why?
Oh my god.
Because he's a fucking clown. He's a clown. It's clown world.
Is it so we use less or something?
Oh, just don't try and think of any logic. There won't be any logic behind it.
Okay, well,
they'll be getting his orders from Klaus Schwab, man.
He wants everyone to change. Well, I think this is more Klaus actually, but changing from your gas boiler to a heat pump. And I looked into this the other day and thought, well, if it's going to be more sustainable or whatever in terms of I'm not going to get my gas supply cut off because the prices are too high or whatever. I'll look into it, and it's something like £17,000 to install, which is phenomenally expensive.
Every 20 years as well, so you'd have to refit. It's hundreds of feet of pipe work you have to bury in the ground if it's a ground source one.
Yeah. So basically, over here we use natural gas. Most of us use natural gas for central heating, and we have gas boilers which last about maybe 10-15 years, and they cost about £1,500, £2,000, so like $2,500-3,000.
But you don't have you'd have to change all like the radiators and stuff. That's the thing, isn't it?
So they're pushing us to get these heat pumps, which cost 10 times the amount, about £20,000. But good news, the government's going to give you £5,000 towards the cost.
Yeah, that you just pay back
anyway.
So you're only about 15 grand out of pocket.
It's wild.
The thing is, and I'm sure I'm not alone here, and I hope I don't get lambasted by the eavesdroppers. But I don't feel strongly enough about just being slightly more green to spend £20,000-30,000 on a new heating system.
Well, you're part of the problem.
If it was
you're part of the problem.
Yeah, sorry,
it's a green
guys.
Industrial revolution.
Yeah, well, make it cheaper, mate. Make it cheaper.
Schwab.
Oh my god!
Tell you what, I'll give you 500 quid. Sort me out, 500 quid. I'll be as green as you like. But no, it costs a fortune.
Where do you guys think this is coming from? This sort of green agenda that they're pushing.
God, this has been going on for so long.
Since the Club of
this
Rome.
whole like climate change bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all in the end in run for control, more control for us. It's so weird. Here recently in California, they decided to put a ban on gas-powered lawn equipment. And that also includes like generators. But yeah, the landscaping industry in Southern California is huge, and a majority of people in these small businesses use gas-powered lawnmowers, leaf blowers, which I hate with a passion, and all these other items. So it's like by 2024 or something, you have to trade in your equipment and you can get like a little, pins from the government.
You can't even trade it in. You have to, they'll give you like a subsidy. They set $30 million aside for all of the landscapers in California to get a little piece of that to change over to battery operated equipment that's electronic. And most of the people that do landscaping around here are immigrants. They're undocumented immigrants. That's their business. That's their way. That's their income. It's a cash business for the most part, which I don't have a problem with. But how are they going to get a subsidy when you're not even a citizen? You can't get any of that stuff. So all that money is going to go to our governor's pals who probably have some green, landscaping company that he sold the idea to them. And he's like, oh, great idea. Here's 30 million. That account's pretty much yours. That's basically
hitting the poorest again. It's the same everywhere. It looks to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Would you even have lawns in California? I did read somewhere that the climate isn't really designed for lawns, and it takes up so much water to maintain lawns.
It's such a waste of space, honestly.
It's the worst use of your property.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's this whole idea of just having this green, perfect lawn here it's infected everyone. And when you could just be putting fruit trees or something of use.
Planter beds.
Cool.
Yeah, something of use in your front lawn,
A cool like BMX track or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a terrific idea, actually.
Yeah,
pipe. But yeah, this whole climate change thing too helps push the scarcity model,
And the taxing of the air we breathe.
Yeah.
And I don't get the whole like carbon in the air is bad. Don't plants need carbon to function? Otherwise, how are they going to live?
And Ben mentioning the shortage of CO2. Like, what the shit? I thought we had so much CO2. I thought CO2 was a problem. Like, what the fuck?
It's the wrong kind of CO2, isn't it, in the air? Well, who was the guy who was he was like one of the founding members of Greenpeace, and now he's like
Swampy.
No. He was on the Delling pod, wasn't he? A month or two ago.
Yeah.
And he was debunking all the climate change stuff. Yeah, he was a founding member of Greenpeace. He was on that ship during the whole Save the Whales saga.
Rainbow Tragedy. What was it called?
Propaganda campaign.
Yeah, and he basically fell out with them all because they were like over egging the pudding. They were like sort of saying it was worse than it was. And he's like he said in that podcast, it's basically it's plant food. And his kind of idea is that India and China with sort of all the coal powered power stations is essentially providing all the CO2 to grow all the extra crops in the world, basically to feed us all. I mean, the other thing as well is like it's just the unintended consequences of everything. Like, we've seen loads of stuff with like the lockdowns of COVID and stuff, but like we always talk about Bill Gates wanting to fire fucking aluminum particles or some shit into the atmosphere.
What's to block out the sun?
Yeah, and like you just think it can people, and they just go, yeah, that's a really good idea, is it? And you just think there's no way, is there, that could be a good thing anyway. It's just everyone's terrified of this. The world is getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah, and a lot of it's down to the media and the way the media portrays what's going on, and the sort of climate alarmism, which is growing year on year. And we've been saying for 18 months that this COVID situation is going to roll over into the the climate. We've already heard about potential climate lockdowns in our future.
Yeah.
You know, if you're prepared to lock down a society for the benefit of public health, you know, because 82-year-olds are dying of COVID, then when, you know, if the scientists are telling us that 1 billion people are going to die in sub-Saharan Africa or Southeast Asia.
Well, I just thought actually then there was, do you know, one thing that I could see them doing is like an air quality lockdown, because China did that first too for the Beijing Olympics.
Olympic Games.
That's true, yeah.
They shut down all the factories, got all the cars off the roads, so the air quality was good enough for people to actually run in the Olympic Stadium without dying, essentially.
Guy, more Farahs coming round at 1,500 meters and just collapse.
Exactly, yeah.
Smog inhalation 5 yards before the finish line.
Yeah, I know, but you could see it though. And like the thing about sort of, you know, potentially having sort of like digital currency, that being linked to everything, and say, you know,
monetized.
Yeah, having an electric car, yeah. And then you say, look, no, you've used your mileage now for this month. Your brake discs have produced X amount of toxic dust.
It's going to affect poor people again who can't afford to change their cars, to change their heating systems, because it costs money to be green, and it also is going to cost you money to not be green in you know, fines or carbon credits or whatever. And I'm not talking about separating your recycling or whatever, or walk into the shop instead of driving your car. Of course, that's free. But it's going to get to the point where your car will become obsolete and you have to purchase a green car, or your heating system will be obsolete and you have to fork out 20, 30 grand for a new system. But don't worry, because there'll be some kind of loan system from the government whereby that's provided for you, and all you have to do is pay back for the rest of your life, and it becomes another tax, another revenue stream for the government. It's great business, a great business idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Creepy Joe's trying to put some mileage tax on us over here.
Paper.
Yeah, I don't know. They're apparently doing some pilot program. It was written in the new
the spending bill.
Spending bill. Yeah. The new spending bill that came out recently. People were complaining about it, saying, oh, that mileage tax is in there. And he's like, no, actually, it's going to be a pilot program to see if the mileage tax is worth
study the
implementing.
Tax.
I'm like, bitch, you know what you're doing. It's so weird, just the control these people try to have on us. And I tend to just let it roll off my back and not let it get to me, because in my reality, that shit's not real, you know?
Yeah, and we have guns here, so we're not going to be like Australia. Like, you pull that shit here, sorry, buddy, you're not going home at the end of the day, you know? Like, you're not going to fuck around with Americans, and we're moving to a place where everybody has guns. So, I mean, come at me, bro, you know?
We're going up to Idaho.
Yeah, we're going up to Idaho. We're moving. Getting the hell out of California.
Is that up at the top somewhere?
It's a square one, isn't it? In the sort of middle.
It's
like an L shape, and it's to the north, kind of center to the left of the United States.
Oh yeah, that one.
Not touching the coast, but like we're next to the coast. Coastal states.
Does it have seasons there? Does it get cold and hot and all the rest?
It has all of the seasons. California only has two. We have spring and summer.
Yeah, that's
so
yeah.
Up there we actually get winter and spring and fall and summer and all that stuff.
It's going to be a huge change.
Yeah, there's already snow on the ground up there.
Cool. Why Idaho in particular?
Well, my dad actually was born there. He grew up there on a farm. So my grandfather was a farmer. He kind of picked that up, and we went and visited like a couple months ago, and just fell in love with the place. The people are super nice. Everybody up there is like, not everybody's Mormon, but a lot of people are Mormon, and people are super nice. Like they're really nice. Like I won't go to church with them, but they're super nice, and I don't mind hanging around them. And I figured it's much better than being in California where everybody has a stick up their ass and loves like telling you that you need to wear a mask and how taxes are a great thing and the government is doing such a wonderful job. And I'm like, are you alive? Do you have a pulse? What the fuck is the matter with you? Are you not looking at any of this stuff? But most of the people that say that aren't homeowners, they aren't renters, and they don't pay these taxes. So for the most part, people like us that have good jobs and pay taxes and we have a mortgage, we get screwed. So we figure, let's sell, let's move up there, let's be a little bit more free while we're still kind of slaves at the same time.
That's cool, man. It must be great to have a place you can actually go to get away from the misery of an area that you're in. It's not like people can just up sticks here and move to Norwich where no one cares, or whatever county might be a more sort of liberal or
no, it doesn't work like that.
Conservative area. No,
we don't have the sort of what's it of powers, the separation of powers from. So we have a much more centralized system. And not as centralized as it used to be, because it used to be centralized in Brussels, which isn't even in our country, but it's centralized in London now. So our local councils don't really have a lot of leeway when it comes to things like tax. So, you know, if we live in the county of Lancashire, if Lancashire decided to be a low tax economy, we don't have that power. Everything's dictated via London. And so all the decision making is London centric. All the investment goes around London, you know. And
the per head investment in London is phenomenally more than it is up north.
Yeah, it's probably 3 or 4 times what it is. Infrastructure spending per head in London. And they fucking play fucking mood music, don't they? And talk about redressing the balance, and it never happens, because that's why I'm a local. That's why I voted Brexit. So I want power local, not remote. I remember saying on this podcast, it's bad enough that all the power's held in fucking London. Never mind another country. I want local people who are accountable.
Local people.
A local
at least
shop.
you can go up and punch them in the face if you need to. In Brussels, you got to take a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember arguing with one of our mates about how fucking shit it was with the European Union, and this mate of ours went, "Well, write to your MEP." It's like you're on a different planet, mate. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, sorry about that.
There's no. You need to be able to. You have to be within arm's length of your politicians, so you can grab them by the fucking neck, because we know they're all fucking shysters, aren't they? There might be the odd one. There's the odd one who slips through the net. Who might be there for, you know, who isn't a cunt. You know, most of them, they're just on the make. They're on the make as much as they can before they get booted out.
Yeah.
So Idaho sounds lovely.
It's wonderful up there.
Are you going to try and do some like homesteading stuff there?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we already have our goal. I want to get chickens by spring, and then maybe some rabbits, like meat rabbits too. So we can balance that out. I would like a goat, but I don't think we have enough space to do a goat just yet.
Yeah, and for the winter, I'm going to start some microgreens for us, growing that so we have like salads and
what's a microgreen?
What's a microgreen?
Tiny amounts of LSD. Oh no, wait.
I wish.
What's a microgreen?
Microgreen is just like it's just a smaller version of a vegetable. The way you grow them is
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, it's like you grow them in trays, and they're heavily just not compacted, but
it's a dense growth.
Dense growth. So you get like tiny broccoli, or you can grow wheatgrass, onions.
There's like little lettuce types that you can grow, little lettuce types like arugula and things like that.
And they grow quick within like 14, 15 days.
And
is it a meal though? I mean, if they're tiny.
The more, I mean, if you have a bunch of trays, you know, you can keep rotating it out and have it with some steak, you know, like a protein.
Cool.
But yeah, it's the nutrient value that you get from it. You're eating something that's basically alive, which we should be eating.
Still talking about
a
the
lot
steak.
of benefits. Say that again.
Still talking about the steak.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd prefer to
eat
just
that
eat
rare.
the steak. But I guess I'll eat some green stuff too. I'm supposed to.
Gotta have some greens.
I guess.
So do you grow them inside then, or do you like grow them in like a polytunnel or something in the winter?
Yeah, you grow them inside on just like metal racks in your office, or basement if you have a basement.
Right. Okay.
Wow. We could do that here, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll send you a couple videos. It's pretty easy. Anybody can do it. It's super easy. As long as you use dirt and seeds. That's pretty much it.
And we can grow mushrooms as well. We'll have to get Michael Logos back and he can school us on the mushrooms.
Peter McCoy,
yeah. What about sort of water and energy? Are you looking to be sustainable in that regard as well?
Yeah, you had a snow idea. What were you talking about with saving the snow?
A listener of ours recommended that for snow, if you shovel it in a bucket, take it inside, let it melt, and use that to water your plants. The nitrogen in that snow is really good for the plants. Cool. So in that way, that'll be good. I think water-wise, we're still going to be connected.
Won't be any fluoride in it either.
No,
there's no. They don't fluoridate their water up there.
I think the only risk that we run in that city is their stupid mosquito spraying that they like to do.
Yeah, it's like an abatement. They spray it from a truck.
It's really ghetto.
It's like a redneck, and he's in just like a pickup truck, and he's driving down the road, and there's some smokestack thing behind him in the bed, and it just shoots the whatever poison it is, and he's just breathing it in. We're breathing it in, and he drives every street in the town, and he drives up to the canyon, and he comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the bottom of that. I know the mayor isn't too far from us because the town we're moving to is like super small.
He lives a block away.
Yeah, right. And so I'm gonna see what the hell's going on with that because I don't care.
That's local government for you, right there.
There you go.
That's what Bill was saying, yeah.
Yeah, we can just go choke the mayor.
Well, yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? Like the mayor here, well, in the UK, the mayors are just like ceremonial. They don't really have any power, do they?
Just go to dinners and stuff.
Yeah, they get to wear a big gold necklace, don't they? Normally.
I see.
Oh, like the Freemasons.
Yeah,
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, and then his wife is like the mayoress, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a shitstorm.
It's so weird that London is basically centralized power. You guys never really had like a federalist type system where there's more local control and the capital can just kind of fuck off.
No, it went from the king to the parliament, didn't it, straight away, and then it just gradually got.
We were talking about this the other week. So if you take Germany, for example, Berlin is the political capital. I think Frankfurt would be the financial capital. And then you've got various cultural capitals like Munich. And you've other huge, Dusseldorf. Stuttgart. You've got lots of major cities. But as far as I know, well, in sort of Western countries, it's probably talking smack here, but as far as a major economy, we're still in like the top 5, top 6 global economies. London is the cultural, financial, and political capital of the country.
Yeah.
We need to break that shit up and spread the love. See what I think?
Well, yeah, and I think that there has been attempts to do that with culture slightly, hasn't there? With like, the BBC has basically moved a bit of it to the northwest, near Manchester, where we live, and a bit went from a different channel to Leeds, which is in Yorkshire, a bit further up than us. But that's about it, really. Oh, HS2, they're making a high speed rail link that just links all the other parts of the country to London. So, there's that as well.
But they're starting in London and building out, when really they should have put the infrastructure in the north and then linked it to London. Because then we'd get the benefits up here for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
A quick well, I know.
It's not supposed to benefit us up here.
That's exactly.
It's to make it easier for people to get to fucking London, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. Oh shit!
Yeah. Man, we never.
I don't know if the union might be about to split up, right? So I hear. So Scotland, Wales separating, all that sort of jazz. I don't know if it'll happen, but I don't know if that would make things better or worse, because they'd say, well, England is smaller now, so it makes sense. London makes even more sense. So you're not having any cultural capital. They'll probably pull back the mayoral roles of Greater Manchester and Liverpool. I think they've been told they have a little bit more power than the ceremonial mayors. I don't know how much of that is true, but I think if the union did break up, I mean, I think it'd probably be worse for people living in England. I'd want that Scotland border pulled down a few hundred miles.
Just
200 miles, that's too
finish,
far. Just like 100.
Rebuild Hadrian's Wall and have done with him.
Yeah.
The Picts.
Sassenachs.
Scotland has some pretty tough people. On my dad's side of the family, my grandfather's side is all Scotch English. And we're supposedly some ancestor down the line was like a steward to William Wallace or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I have no clue, but I just know that Scotland and Northern England, they're probably the real England, and London is like the fake England.
Right.
They keep trying to make everybody seem like, oh no, everything's London, everything's London. But I always talk to her before this whole lockdown, if we ever go to the UK, I actually don't ever want to go to London. Maybe fly in there because you have to, but then I'd want to go stay up in the north or something. It doesn't seem
correct.
Yeah.
You know.
And you do have a look of Robert the Bruce as well. Buffalo. I think you should, yeah. I was going to say you should do ancestry.com, but no, don't do that. Because they'll just sell your DNA. Yeah, start making clones of you.
Yeah, and if
Fucking hell, this guy's Robert the Bruce! Let's make 1,000 of him.
Yeah. They keep finding serial killers through that, you know.
Shit.
They do.
Well, I'm definitely not a
fuck.
serial
Now,
killer.
My number's up.
I was just gonna say, so you know, if you happen to kill lots of people in the 80s, then yeah, time's probably up.
I was 2 in the 80s, so probably didn't kill a lot of people. I'm sure.
You never know. You never know.
With my cutes, I killed them with my cutes. You know,
Exactly.
pinch my cheek.
Still murder.
Oh my god! Did you guys hear about Bill Clinton?
How's he died?
Wales.
I wish.
Wish.
Almost. Just this close. He's actually in a local hospital from here not too long ago. I guess it was yesterday or the day before. He got some kind of
Yeah, I think it was Friday.
infection in his penis, and then he ended up in the hospital, and he's there with his lovely wife Hillary Clinton, who should have been president.
It was
right?
a urological infection.
Yeah.
In the egg.
With his urine.
he was here locally talking about something with his charity or trafficking children or something, whatever he does. And yeah, I guess he's in high spirits. So sorry. This close. Not yet.
Are we having a get well soon shout out? Is that what's going on? Have I misread the mood?
He's got a UTI in his egg penis.
Yeah. He basically had a UTI and it almost went septic. So
Well,
yeah.
it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, could it?
I
Right.
know. Yeah.
I remember seeing that headline and I got so mad just to think that piece of shit's down the street with his wife, you know? Well, not like literally down the street, but he's pretty close.
One of his clones is down the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like, man.
he does look terrible. Absolutely terrible.
He has looked ill for a while, hasn't he? Yeah.
How old is he?
Yeah.
1 million? I have no idea. Not sure.
Is he
He's
80?
too old.
Is he 80?
He's gotta be like in his 80s,
Yeah,
right?
I think maybe late 70s, maybe.
How old's Jimmy Carter then? He's still knocking around.
Jimmy Carter is 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
He's like this big now. Did you see that picture with him
That
and
was so weird.
Joe Bugs? He was Joe Bugs was like all huge, and Jimmy Carter looked like a little Muppet doll or something.
Oh,
I'm not
exactly.
really quite sure.
Who knew that Nephilim shrink when they get that old?
Oh my god, who would have thought?
Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna have to fuck off into the night.
Yeah.
We've blown through an hour. Or have we done an hour yet? I've not got my clock.
An hour and 3 minutes. We've
Oh.
done.
Crikey,
Yes,
my body
Wait for you
clock's
guys
like
out there.
body clock's working overtime.
Is
tonight.
that why you're rubbing your boobs?
Yeah, I do.
Are
When
you-
my body clock's good, I rub my moobs.
Phil,
Yeah.
Phil, are you going to turn into a pumpkin?
No, I hope not. But you know, we've got to. You might not know, we do like 2 halves of our podcast. So we do like a collab or interview, whatever, for an hour, and then we do a lot of topical stuff and talk about dog jizz and stuff. Yeah, I've got a
Spoiler alert.
yeah, I've got a dog jizz story for you tonight.
Great.
You can't wait, can you?
No.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to sign off. But it's been great meeting you two. It's been good fun.
Yeah,
Good laugh.
fantastic.
Yeah. Send us. Have you got our Amish Inquisition email address to send us about microgreens?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we have your email. We'll find it.
Yeah.
We can find you guys.
Find it. Or send it to you on Twitter.
On that subject, there's a guy. Oh my gosh, the lawful rebel, Nigel Howard.
Oh yeah.
We should
Should
maybe-
hook you two up.
Yeah, Nigel's like he used to be an airline pilot, and then he sort of took this sort of self-sustain. What do you call it?
Yeah, he got a small holding, and he basically built 4 interconnected yurts on it, and it came a cropper of planning by the local council, and he had to take his yurts down.
But he's completely like self-sustaining, homeschooling the kids, and like supplement gets his own water and power, and then supplements his income by selling like organic food products and stuff. So it'd probably be good for you guys to connect with him and have a chat about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Nice guy.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
No
Appreciate
worries.
Appreciate you
Yeah.
guys having us on and finally meeting. It was awesome.
It was great.
You guys are crack up.
I wish we were over there or you were over here so we could just have a beer together.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Maybe one day.
yeah. Just pay for us to come out.
Yeah, I mean, what will it be for 3 airline tickets? About $6,000,
No,
maybe.
not much.
$6,000. Right?
Wait till we get to Idaho. You'll be a little closer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be a little cheaper.
You can fly in a Cessna, right? You're cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
We'll just hitch a ride on that Karl Lagerfeld's
What's this?
kiddie. No, it's not Karl Lagerfeld. The guy Charlie Robinson we're talking about. He had the same plane as Epstein, where it had the trap door where you can throw the children off when you're finished with them.
I must have just erased that part of the thing from my memory. To be honest.
And Trump had one as well.
Is it a Boeing?
Yeah,
He
same
did.
kind of Boeing.
737?
I can't remember.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
These kids love their secret
Boeing
planes.
pedo special.
Okay.
The Lolita Express.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Right then.
Thank you.
Guys.
So I also go out tomorrow. So I'll send you links and tag you in all the social media stuff and that when it's live. And
For sure.
it's been good fun.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Had a great time, guys. Thank you.
Hope the move goes well.
Yeah.
It's been-
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. We'll send you some pictures from Freedom Land up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Absolutely. Right.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a good night
Cheers, guys.
or a good afternoon.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
We'll talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.
Oh,
You have to do this, Phil, as well.
what do I have to do?
Stop streaming.
Stop streaming.
Yeah.
Don't cross the stream.